Hey, Daryl here, and this is my daily devotional. Spiritual insight, discernment, spiritual sensitivity, awareness, spiritual discrimination is something achieved as we walk with the Lord closely. Don't expect to have sensitivity spiritually if you're not walking close to the Lord. Daily reading the Bible, daily praying, daily sacrificing for the Lord. There you become super sensitive to the Spirit and have insights that are beyond the normal consciousness of man. Case in point, Elisha. Now, Ben-Hadad, he was the king of Aram, north of Israel, and Elisha had gone to Damascus, which is in Aram, because the king of Aram was sick. So the king says to his servant Hazael, go ask him if I'm going to get well. Take him some gifts. And he does. Listen to the gifts that Hazael takes to visit Elisha in Damascus. Hazael went to meet Elisha, taking with him a gift, 40 camel loads of all the finest wares of Damascus. He went in and stood before him and said, your son, Ben-Hadad, king of Aram, has sent me to ask, will I recover from this illness? Now, mind you, that's a lot of stuff. 40 camel loads of the finest wares of Damascus. So he comes, he asks the question of Elisha, will the king be well? And Elisha is standing there face to face with the king's servant, Hazael. And it says, go and say to him, you will certainly recover. But the Lord has revealed to me that he will die. And then consider this. Elisha stares at Hazael. It says he has a fixed gaze on Hazael until Hazael was uncomfortable. He says he felt ashamed. And then Elisha begins to cry. So imagine two men looking at each other. The prophet of God staring at in a gaze the servant of the king, to the point where the king's servant becomes uncomfortable. He's feeling ashamed. And then Elisha begins to cry. Why? Because in that gaze, his spiritual intuition was kicked in. Because of his closeness with God, his spiritual sensitivity revealed to him what was about to happen. Because I know the harm you will do to the Israelites, he answered. You will set fire to their fortified places, kill their young men with the sword. Their children will be dashed to the ground. And listen, the pregnant women will be ripped open. Well, this is news to the servant. He says, I'm just a mere dog. How would I ever have the authority to do that? Hazael said, how could your servant do this? I'm a mere dog. And the Lord has shown me that you will become king of Aram, answered Elisha, his spiritual intuition. So consider what happens. Hazael left Elisha, returned to his master. When King Hadad asked, what did Elisha say to you? Hazael replied, he told me that you would certainly recover. But the next day, he took a thick cloth, soaked it in water, spread it over the king's face so that he died. Then Hazael succeeded him as king. He covered his face with a wet rag and smothered him in that wet rag. He did become king, and he did go on and do the awful things perceived by the man of God, Elisha. Get close to God, and you will sense your spiritual intuition kick in, and you will know things you would have never known without that closeness to God's Spirit. God bless you. Good day.